I've always been fascinated about new things. New technology comes through, but my fascination is not with the technology, it's in what does that mean, and often what does that mean for people. So I'm Crone, I'm the Chief Executive of Callaghan Innovation. We are New Zealand's innovation agency.
So what does Callaghan Innovation actually do?
So Callaghan Innovation is here to do two things. First, to activate innovation, and second, to accelerate the commercialisation of that. What does that mean in practice? We're out there with businesses and agitating and working with them around, are they really understanding what technology is coming and how they can then apply that to their business? And the second part of what we do is, if a business has an idea, we help them get it into market faster and we help them scale it faster.
So I'm really interested in the changes that are coming. Which are the big ones that you think are going to really impact businesses, New Zealand as a country?
There are a lot of changes coming. Artificial intelligence, robotics, drones, and on it goes. There's about kind of around 10 or so technologies that are coming through that are going to fundamentally change how businesses operate, how we live, work and play, and how governments operate.
It's pretty exciting.
It's
actually.
really exciting. It's incredibly scary for many people because it's such a big shift. I mean, over the past 2 decades, we've had essentially cloud, social and mobility are the big 3 trends that have come through. So just put that on steroids. So it will affect many of our jobs. And also it will affect economies essentially in regards to, we've been reliant on agriculture and tourism, and the future technology will completely revolutionise and change that. So you're already seeing the race globally for alternative proteins, which is really going to challenge our industries moving forward.
Totally agree. So where does New Zealand fit on a world scale?
So New Zealand is incredibly innovative in our ideas, and we can solve problems in a way that many others can't because we're so isolated, because we don't have the resources, and so we just think differently. The challenge is that doesn't add up to enough activity for New Zealand to be prospering on the world stage from an innovation perspective.
What will be the implications for New Zealand if we don't pick up the pace on it?
I think are quite concerning. So we're behind in our level of R&D spend. What does that mean? That means that businesses are not looking at this technology and applying it to new products and services, new processes, and also new business models. They're not doing that at the level that other countries and our competitors are doing. Just in manufacturing alone, the savings in terms of efficiencies for those industries that adopt the technology is estimated between $1.5 trillion to $4 trillion. So our ability to still compete with organisations that are getting that level of competitive advantage and cost is where we're going to struggle. This technology change is accelerating fast, and it's better to be understanding it now rather than 5 years down the track where you're absolutely sprinting to catch the train.
Do you feel the weight of people relying on you to guide them through it?
I feel the energy. It gives me a level of energy, and I feel a really high level of personal responsibility. So, we've started thinking about for our teams. We've talked to all of our leaders about the changes that are coming and what does that mean, and that means some of the roles are going to change and things, and that we want to work to understand where our roles will go and how do we retrain and reskill. I feel a really big responsibility around that I don't as a leader leave people stranded because 1, I haven't acknowledged the change, or 2, I haven't bothered to work out how we can help them transition.
So what do you think it takes as a leader to take people through this change? Or
I think as a leader, you need to have some understanding of it. I think no longer can you just leave technology to your executive or to other people in the organisation. And that's because there are so many both opportunities and challenges and some threats coming with technology. So, you can't be fearful about the future. But at the same time, being vulnerable because we don't quite know what it looks like and we don't quite know where it's going to take us. It's hard to say, okay, pretty much my whole organisation will be impacted by technology probably in every aspect over the next 10 to 15 years. It's quite courageous to say, okay, I'm going to go on that journey.
To figure our way out of this sort of situation, for me, I think the most important thing is vision. Where do you think vision comes from?
So vision is critical. When you look at the technological change coming through, is that one, you have somewhere in your group of people developing your vision and understanding of that, and two, that you are collaboratively developing up your vision. So with the Callaghan Innovation 5-year strategy, we had about 12 to 15 people representing a whole range of different parts of the innovation ecosystem, co-developing that strategy with us. And yeah, we just went through a fantastic, quite easy process.
Was it easy?
Yeah.
It sounds like it was an easy process.
Do you know, it was really enjoyable. People loved it.
Would you say that the moment you knew what you were about as a person, that things have accelerated for you, or that more opportunities have come?
Absolutely. So, I think about the last kind of 3-4 years, and it's been a roller coaster. So I think that for me anyway, and this is partially I think a female thing, with that clarity came a lot more confidence. And I think, sometimes we don't always have the confidence as women for a whole range of reasons, and also self-imposed, to go and chase our dreams and to have that clarity and run after that. And so absolutely the acceleration of that has been, significant.
So were you always excited and passionate about that stuff?
As a child, always passionate about people. And then as I went through university and into my first professional roles, that was the technology angle came. So that was where the two meshed together.
So how about the resilience? Because obviously as a child you describe yourself as being pretty fearless.
I think resilience is critical. And I think in fact organisations need to be focusing on how they increase the resilience of their people and their organisation in terms of facing what's coming at them. And I think, part of it for me is I've always been optimistic and happy. So that's been there, and I think what I've learned to hone and develop over the years is tools and techniques that get me through the really tough spots. So, around about, 13 years ago when my marriage split up and work wasn't going so well, that was a really defining moment to say, okay, I need to manage myself better. And then now I do have a really good focus on health and work, much better balance on doing mindfulness activity as opposed to just running a million miles an hour. So I don't, 15 years ago I didn't really understand that. and I had a natural level of resilience that took me a really long way. But it did run out, and so I've been able to build on that. So if I think about how I've changed, if I think, that was a defining moment in my life. And that is, as a leader, I think I used to lead from a place of competence in my function. And that whole experience and that whole time taught me, if I can lead from a place of a vision and some really kind of powerful, here's how we need to go about it, and let people come to the table with their capability, competence, expertise, passion, energy, I could achieve tenfold. And then I think as a mum, there were some fundamental shifts going on. So the biggest moment I have with one of my youngest daughter, she's quite good at gymnastics. She got quite good at it. And I asked her for 6 months, why are you so good at it? What's changed? Knowing full well why she was good at it. She was training harder, she had more purpose. I knew exactly why. But I asked and asked and asked and asked, and finally about 6-7 months later she goes, I'm just practicing better, Mum. And that shift where she came to the realisation herself rather than I told her has meant she will do more in her life than me ever telling her that she could do that. So that realisation of how you get the best out of people by not telling them, but by encouraging them, supporting, listening, allowing them to be different, and constantly asking them questions rather than telling, it's a big shift.
Thank you.
You're welcome, is that it?
I think so. Do you have anything else?
I feel exhausted now.
Oh, man.